Where we come from, we each fight for loyalty, for freedom, or perhaps enlightenment. But not here. Here we cast aside our disparate beliefs, our barriers and preconceived notions, and band together as a global force to engage in some of the largest competitive battles this world has ever seen. We are the squads, the platoons, the empires and servers, full of players coordinating a complex game of strategy and tactics. This is where combined arms happens. This is where war comes to play. This is Server Smash.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our second game of Server Smash for today. My name is Farah, I'll be one of your main casters. I am joined by my ever-reliable co-caster.
I am Redolent, and we have a extra caster today, specifically going to be covering something that we tend not to cover because it's just such a gigantic thing. Go ahead and say hello, Justicia. And what you're
Hello, I'm Justicia. I'll be covering the air game, hopefully. I'll be streaming my own stream as well.
Just to get an extra cover of everything that's going on in the skies, which we sometimes miss when we're looking at the ground that very much. So today, who's playing today, Red?
Today we have Cobalt versus Emerald. Cobalt is going to be playing as NC, and Emerald is going to be playing as VS. And this is our, as you said, our second match this weekend, again on the continent of Esamir. We watched Connery defeat Miller yesterday, and that was a very exciting match. A lot of interesting play, especially at the beginning. And hopefully we have just as good of a match today.
Alright, so let's get our team sorted, explain who's here with us today in detail. Myself, I'll be the main caster, Redolent will be co-casting with me, the aircaster will be Justicia, I love the little touch there on the broadcasting team graphic, and Lanzer, you're a referee today. Is this the first time you've been refereeing in an official capacity?
No, I've refed before.
Right, so we'll look forward to your speech near the end of the pre-game show. And our rules today, Redolent, why don't you tell us what the match rules today are?
This is exactly like a continent capture alert on the live server. You have 2 hours to capture as much territory as possible. There is no overtime. So basically, once 2 hours hits, if it's 1 second off of the base capture, you don't get it. And there's no points. It is based off of the territory control graph in game.
Right, and then I guess the last thing is, what about our tournament? This is round one, our second game of round one of the tournament. What are the tournament rules? How do we decide a winner?
The tournament is a round-robin format. Think of the group stage of the World Cup. Every server plays every other server once. At the end of that round-robin format, the top two servers face each other in a championship. We determine those two top servers based on their record of wins and losses, with a tie-break based on the amount of territory that they held in all of the matches. So basically, if you win by just a little bit, you're not helping yourself down the line as much as if you win by a whole bunch and can kind of pack that into the back pocket to wait for the end when we start determining the first and second servers.
Gotcha. Well, that's that out of the way, nice and cleared up. So today we're back on Esamir, 288 people versus 288 people. That's a lot of people, isn't it?
It is a lot of people, and surprisingly, I really thought it was going to feel kind of cramped on Esamir when we played yesterday, and it really doesn't, because unlike on the live server where you never know what you're facing, you could be facing 6 platoons in front of you, or could be facing 6 guys in front of you. Here, your enemy has exactly the same number of people. So even though we're putting an extra platoon out there, they still have to counter each other. If you want to, now you can't take a base with 24 guys, you have to send 36 to it. And it was really interesting seeing a lot of that strategic meta going around with how forces were moved and where they were placed. And it wasn't like you saw these massive balls of 6 platoons on one single base trying to push, because in the end they could do the same thing to you where you were not. Right,
we will go into the kind of the finer details of meta and how to perhaps play the Server Smash a little bit later, but right now we're looking at the game map, and today our 2 servers playing today, Cobalt from the EU will be playing New Conglomerate. Emerald from East Coast America will be playing the Vanu Sovereignty. So we have our map set up. The Vanu Sovereignty for Emerald, they'll be starting in the Eastern Warp Gate, and Cobalt will be starting in the Southern Warp Gate. Now, you have a preference, don't you, for starting Warp Gates?
I do, and I think a lot of other people do. It's interesting to me. You talk to some servers and they say you have to have the Eastern Warp Gate. You talk to other servers, you say you have to have the Southern Warp Gate. I'm a Southern Warp Gate guy. I think I really like the way that you can pressure from that Warp Gate, and we saw one of the ways you can pressure from that Warp Gate yesterday. The thing is that Miller took probably the most important base for pressuring from the Eastern Warp Gate, which is Redemption, and I'm interested to see if we see that today. If Redemption is captured from the Eastern Warp Gate, there's a lot of lanes that open up that we didn't get to see fought over yesterday that can really change the tide of the battle on that southern side.
Right. Well, I guess this is, round one, as we're saying. There is next week we'll have a bye week. The week after that, though, on the October the 11th and 12th, and these details will be at the end of the game, we'll have our second round, which will be on Amrish, and our third round, which is 2 weeks after that, will be on Hossen. And we're playing at the tournament file format. Our website is planetsidebattles.org. All the details you ever need will be there, and you'll also find the details on Server Smash subreddit. And I guess we could go into our interview now with our two kind of representatives from Cobalt and Emerald.
All right, let's hop up there.
Hello, guys.
Right. Hello. Hey, howdy.
All right. Well, welcome to the Server Smash tournament. I hope you guys have a good time. I'm going to go ahead and start off by asking the Emerald rep, Negator, tell us a little bit about Emerald. Tell us who you have playing here and how you set up to choose those people.
Well, as you guys know, Emerald is the merged version of Watterson and Matherson. There's going to be a lot of...
I think I lost you there, Negator. Does anyone else still hear him?
I got him. Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, can you hear me? Great. So, anywho, there's a lot of old hands. A lot of folks have been around since both servers launched. The leadership team is very familiar with each other, going on all the platoon leads, the force lead. When we put the forces together, because of the size of Emerald, we decided to split server down 2 lines to have 2 teams, so we've been rotating teams for this tournament. And we initially did a random organization, and then went back and picked and chose with a council of folks to kind of even the teams out and get a good representation.
All right, and what would you say the strength of Emerald is? What do you think the big
Emerald
thing?
Team 2. What's the strength of Emerald Team 2?
Team 2.
Well, the strengths of both are identical. We all play the same style, but definitely fast movement. We don't like to slow down. We like to keep pressure up on all fronts.
We saw that yesterday. Connery did a very good job at applying pressure against Miller. Is that perhaps something you're looking to do today without revealing too much?
You can expect for every single opening to be exploited. Every single one.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and hear from our Miller rep. Miller,
what? Sorry, we're playing again.
Sorry about that. Cobalt rep.
Oh, you need to wash your mouth out. That's an insult to Cobalt.
I do.
Of course.
So Cobalt, who did you guys bring today?
Well, since with the merger with Series, it's been quite large. Turnout has been remarkably great for Server Smash. We brought the usual guys, so Jesters, Red Impact Gaming, DGMA, Trid, Fools, of course, is here, and a few names have changed over time. We have PTMC, so shout out to PTMC. And AOTR should be playing with us as well. There's a lot of names. There's MB1, Kane, Reapers, 418, UNVQ, who are basically new to the whole Server Smash thing. Tier, who are completely new and they're playing in one small group. ISIF, FVBR, just a massive amount. And to the French, SFRA, representing French Cobalt, of course. A lot of people. A lot of good people. It's really
How
good.
do you judge your chances? I mean, many people out there would say that Emerald has been fairly successful when it comes to winning their previous games. Are you feeling confident today?
Emerald. I think we are confident. We are not so intimidated by anything. And yeah, we hope to actually play a good match and we hope to win.
Did you watch the game yesterday to see if you could get any pointers from Miller's Folly and Connery's Triumph?
Well, personally myself, I didn't watch the game because I live in Seychelles now. But a lot of our staff did, and they've been using the game modes, at least the games, to actually figure out where to go, where's the strong side, where's the soft side, you know, the weaknesses and strengths of every faction, well, every server. So, yeah, I think we're pretty much prepared for what we have to do.
What
And
would
it-
you say Cobalt's strength is? What would you say is the main thing that most of your outfits do?
I think now our main strength is a desire for coordination. So we're really geared towards working on a command structure, building on that command structure, and really doing well with that command structure. Like, to the point of perfection. And as Blackjack, who is our force commander, shout out to him, he's a very determined guy. He's a guy that actually has put a lot of hours into preparing for Service Smash. He's like dead on his feet currently, so Black, if you're okay out there, let me know. And yeah, he's been really geared to play to win. That's the idea for a Cobalt. We are playing to win. No buts, no ifs, no ands. Playing to win.
I guess then I have to ask
Taking it
Emerald.
easy, but we're playing to win. Yeah.
I have to ask Emerald, are you guys feeling lucky or confident about defending your kind of flawless win record, perhaps, so far?
There's a reason it's flawless win record. Confident, yes. Lucky, we don't need to be lucky. We do expect a good game, absolutely. Every single one of them's been a thriller for us. I should have mentioned our force lead is Limgar. He led Watterson during the Watterson-Matherson merger smash. So very, very confident what we got going on here.
See, do we expect a base to be named after him today?
After Limgar, we can ask. How about a little sing?
Hey, I tell you what, if you guys orchestrate a perfectly awesome game, there's no reason it couldn't theoretically happen, but it needs to be extra special. There's this extra little kind of perk out there for you.
Alright, we'll think of something extra special then.
Red, is there anything else you would like to ask?
No, I think that about covers it.
Well then, I have to ask, Negator or Victor Max, is there anything else you want to say to each other on the opposing server?
Good luck,
Well,
buddy.
Negator, you go first.
Okay. Good luck. I hope we can still be friends afterwards.
Oh, no, there's no problem. Handshake on it.
Alright, man.
Far more gentlemanly than I thought.
May the best fanatic win, of course. Cheers.
Okay guys, well thank you very much. We'll let you get away back to your respective servers. Game starts in about 17 minutes from now, so all the best.
Alright, thank you very much.
Alright, thanks, game.
Oh, there you go. That was our representatives from on TeamSpeak. So, let's talk about Esamir then, shall we, Redland, and Justicia as well. So, we've got... I'll just bring this up on stream. Talk a little bit about meta. In last games, in Server Smash, redeployment is a big factor, right? There's no getting away from it. The ability to redeploy, especially in fewer lanes, plays an issue. So, how would you go about perhaps playing the game, Redland?
I think that one thing that we saw yesterday, and we've seen it in every single Esamir match, is Ymir Biolab is more of a block than it is allowing you to attack. A lot of servers, whoever gets it, be it the Southern or the Eastern, use it to as a force multiplier. They take the base and then they put fewer people down there to hold against people and put them somewhere else. From the Eastern Warp Gate, you have a couple of places you can push on. You can try and get Frey Ramp Station early on and push out over there. You can try and get Watterson's Redemption. Watterson's Redemption is a much harder base to get, especially because it's immediately contested off the beginning. And you have to start defending against that Rhyme Analytics push that we saw yesterday for Connery execute so well. From the southern lane, you have that Rhyme lane you can push Freyr, and again, you can kind of bash your head into that Redemption lane and try and get up over into Echo Valley Substation. So it's really a matter of where do you want to push? Do you enjoy, I think this is also a huge thing with strategy. Do you look at a base that opens up into two lanes and say, I want to be defending there or I want to be attacking there? Because some people like the idea of having two options that they can always attack. Some people like the idea of that as a choke point where they can say they have to come down to my level on one base and I can really defend. And I think that is, if you talk to most force commanders, they're going to split on that issue. Where do they want to sit there and control that point, or do they want to push out from that point?
There's a couple of ways that I'd like to see the servers perhaps play, given the current resource system, the way that Max's grenades work, and the current air system. Yesterday we saw there was a lot of heavy fighting over ice and mining operation, and there was an interdiction tactic by Miller, i.e. they put people in a base they couldn't capture to prevent the enemy from getting to the capture point. But we saw a very brave infiltrator get to the point, but that could have delayed. In the end, they got the tech plant anyway, but it could have delayed the attack on ice and mining. So interdictions may be something, but I'd like to see a better coordination. If one of the servers does go for air attacks and close air support, a base like Ymir Southern Reach is terrible because this teleporter building has a very tiny run gap, so you can't really suppress them outside the buildings. And taking Ymir Southern Reach is a very difficult base to capture, especially if you're coming from the biolab, simply because defenders are in the spawn rooms and they can teleport and they can run out and they can just throw grenade, max crash in, and you're already up the main staircase and everyone's so claustrophobic inside. It's terrible. But alternatively, at Rime Analytics, you've got a large, wide, open plateau where infantry and maxes are more exposed to air attack, and there's no safe sun respawns either. So I'd like to see any attacking, defending servers pick their bases out. What is the easiest target for us to take? And while, yes, you're applying pressure over the whole map to spread out the enemy's defenses, you use your resources effectively, air in the right base for the right ground attack. That's something I really want to see today.
Justicia spent yesterday in the air. What did you notice that's peculiar to Esamir from an air standpoint? Is there anything?
Well, Esamir is a bad place for air. Basically, it's so open from the ground. If you've got a few skyguards up or a few sunders with walkers and team up with repair sunders, it's quite difficult to take it out from the air because you can't approach the ground from any location without you being spotted at 1,000 meters away. So for the ground to have an impact, for the air to have an impact on the ground, they need to take out the ground vehicles as soon as possible. But also, most of the bases on Esamir are quite fully walled in, so the points are usually not outside. So for the air to have an impact on the ground, they really need to come close, shoot inside buildings. But ground forces are able to effectively guard against that if they play their cards right.
Right. I suppose there's kind of a coordination there. And I guess another tactic that I would like to see playing the game is in the current resource, the meta of redeployment. Let's say I'm Vanu and I'm attacking perhaps Mathens Triumph, or better yet, I'm New Conglomerate and I'm attacking Rime Analytics as we're showing on the stream, and I'm attacking, let's say, with 2 squads. So I've got 12 to 24 attacking Rime Analytics. But I'd like to see use of reserves, which we don't see, because if I am the Vanu defending Rime Analytics, I see that there's 2 squads defending Rime Analytics, and then maybe I send 3 squads to defend. I send more defenders to force the defense to take the base back. So I send maybe 3 or 4 squads. I would like to see the New Conglomerate team in this example have reserves, so that as soon as the enemy commits their numbers and plays their hand, this is how many people I'm going to send, you then bring in your extra reinforcements and you trump their numbers again, so you still have dominance. And the defenders, if they're quick, will now have less than about 90 seconds to respond, and at that point you can usually take the base. That's not something we've seen very often. Normally it's just brute force. This is how many people I'm attacking with, and can you stop me? So I'd like to see teams perhaps playing around each other. But I guess, what do you think Cobalt's going to do? Because Freya Ramp Station is a contestable point. That's interesting. Although yesterday Connery had firm grip of Freya Ramp and they had control over Rime Analytics and raw materials as they were moving north. In the south, we saw that the Eastern Warp Gate took Ymir as a sort of bulwark to protect their 2 lanes coming to the north of it. Alternatively, Terran BL 4 is a large outpost, so even if, let's say, the Eastern Warp Gate lost Ymir Biolab, it's not necessarily all over if they decide to put emphasis elsewhere in the lanes. I mean, what do you think, Red?
I think one of the things that it's kind of the invisible to most people who play this game is the larger strategic thing, and that's not just knowing where you should put it. All of us can be an armchair Monday morning force command, being in that seat, being the person who's having to give those orders, seeing the stuff and getting your people through the correct communication where they need to be is difficult at times, especially if you're dealing with different empires, different people you don't deal with every single day. So the people who can do what you said, keep reserves back and know that those guys are going to be okay with that. They're okay with the first 5 minutes. You're not going to be doing anything because we're going to use you somewhere else. Or have dedicated squads to, all right, you're done doing this, now you go do that. That is higher level play, and every server that can get that kind of coordination together is going to be better off for it, absolutely.
And I guess, what about the tech plant? I mean, it's basically Magredders or Vanguards. Yesterday we saw that Miller put a strong emphasis on the tech plant and got themselves Vanguards. And it did, to an extent, help them. There was quite a few kills on the statistics. And it gives you that kind of ground control to clear up stuff out. So what do you think? I mean, do you place an emphasis on the tech plant, or do you think you can choose to not go for it and apply pressure elsewhere?
The tech plant, to me, is not about getting armor. The tech plant is about locking off the points in the middle of the map. You can basically sit there and push out to some pretty easy bases, and you allow yourself to secure some territory with some choke points by pushing out of it.